The term Native Americans refers to the indigenous peoples of the American continent. This term is commonly used to describe the Native American tribes that were originally settled in America. However, the term Indian historically does not accurately reflect the diversity and complexity of these indigenous peoples and is generally considered an inaccurate term. This term was originally used by Europeans when they first arrived in America, mistakenly attributing it to the skin color of the native populations, but it encompasses a wide range of ethnic groups and cultures. There are many different Native American tribes and ethnic groups in America. These tribes have maintained their distinct languages, traditions, cultures, and lifestyles. For example, tribes such as the Navajo, Cherokee, Apache, and Sioux have lived in different geographical regions with unique cultures. The histories of Native American peoples are incredibly rich, and they had developed advanced cultures and civilizations for thousands of years before the arrival of Europeans. However, the arrival of European settlers had a profound impact on Native American communities, leading to dramatic changes in their history. Native American communities had diverse livelihoods based on their geographical regions, climate conditions, and local natural resources. Lifestyles and sources of sustenance varied significantly among different tribes, but generally, the following activities and livelihood sources were common. Hunting and fishing. Many Native American tribes sustained themselves through hunting and fishing, with the specific types of activities depending on their geographical locations. For instance, tribes in northern regions often hunted fur-bearing animals, while those in southern regions might have been more focused on fishing. Agriculture. Some Native American tribes considered agriculture as a significant livelihood source. They cultivated plants such as corn, beans, and squash, combining these crops with hunting and gathering. Indigenous peoples thrived on gathering wild plants, fruits, roots, and other natural resources from their surroundings. This became an essential source of sustenance, especially during times when hunting and farming were not as feasible. Nomadic lifestyle. Certain tribes adopted a nomadic lifestyle, involving seasonal migrations to different areas to better exploit natural resources. This allowed them to adapt more effectively to the environment. Arts and crafts, trade. Native American communities engaged in the production of arts and crafts, often using fur, feathers, and natural materials. Through exchange, they sustained their livelihoods. Additionally, trading with local and distant regions strengthened their economies. These livelihood sources reflected the diversity of Native American cultures and their ability to adapt to various geographical and environmental conditions. However, the arrival of European settlers and the changes they brought significantly impacted these traditional livelihoods, leading to substantial alterations in the lifestyles of indigenous communities. Many different wars and conflicts occurred among Native American communities, often arising from disputes over land rights, hunting grounds, trade routes, cultural disagreements, or relations with European settlers. Additionally, there was competition and conflict among various tribes of Native Americans. An important point is that wars among Native American peoples cannot be broadly generalized, because each tribe had its own unique war history based on its culture, traditions, and relationships. However, some notable wars and conflicts include Native European Wars. The arrival of European settlers in North America brought about a series of conflicts among indigenous peoples and between them and Europeans. Events like the Jamestown War in 1622 between the Powhatan Confederacy and settlers in Virginia exemplify this period. French and Indian Wars. In the 17th and 18th centuries, conflicts among European states led to alliances and hostilities among Native American tribes. The competition, especially between French and British settlers, influenced Native American tribes in the interior regions of North America. Arapaho-Cheyenne War. In 1864, a conflict known as the Sand Creek Massacre occurred in Colorado between the United States Army and the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes. In this incident, the U.S. Army attacked a camp, including civilian populations, resulting in the deaths of many Native Americans. It is crucial to remember that Native American wars were shaped not only by conflicts among themselves, but also by interactions and conflicts with European settlers. These conflicts hold a significant place in the history of Native American cultures and communities. The expression that Native Americans disappeared is a highly general statement, and providing a clear explanation on this matter is challenging. However, due to various threats and challenges historically faced by Native American communities, some groups experience significant population losses or cultural impacts. Here are some of these challenges. European settlers and diseases. The arrival of European settlers in North America posed a significant threat to indigenous peoples. Native populations often lacked immunity to diseases brought by Europeans, leading to devastating epidemics. Native communities, especially due to diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza, suffered substantial population losses. Land loss and displacement. The territorial claims of European settlers displaced Native American communities from their lands. These land losses and forced migrations made it challenging for Native communities to maintain their traditional ways of life and cultures. Wars and armed conflicts. Indigenous peoples engaged in a series of wars and conflicts with European settlers and the American government. These conflicts are often associated with Native communities' efforts to defend their lands. Events such as the Battle of Little Bighorn in the mid-19th century exemplify these struggles. Cultural assimilation policies. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the U.S. government implemented cultural assimilation policies by sending Native American children to boarding schools. These policies aimed to suppress Native American culture and encourage adaptation to Western culture. In conclusion, Native American communities have faced a series of challenges throughout history, and some groups experience significant population decline. However, these communities continue to exist, preserving their existence along with diverse cultural legacies. The term Red Devils is not commonly used to refer to Native Americans or indigenous peoples in general. Instead, more widespread and accurate terms include Native American peoples or simply indigenous peoples. However, it is important to acknowledge that there have been instances of conflicts and hostilities among Native American communities, particularly throughout history, involving settlers and other tribes. It is crucial to recognize that these conflicts are complex historical events that can be interpreted differently from the perspectives of both parties involved. Some Native American tribes may have experienced severe events of violence in interactions with each other or with settlers. Still, expressing these events in generalizations does not serve the understanding of a broad demographic consisting of diverse cultures and communities throughout history. The causes of conflicts were influenced by various factors, such as relationships between parties, land disputes, and competition for resources. It is essential to remember that every community exhibits internal differences throughout history, and making generalizations can hinder our understanding of complex historical realities. To better understand events throughout history, it is important to examine various sources and evaluate events from different perspectives.